and welcome to the 1995 Bon Jovi concert series. And today I'm covering the one that was done today. It's the 25th anniversary series that was done today, 25 years ago. And it's a concert called Rock am Ring, and it was in Nurberg and in Germany. And it was a festival, and it was a full set, so it was as long as other shows, but MTV broadcast a little less than an hour. So, so that's the material we're going to work with today. So I'm not going to go over the other songs that they played, but it was a full show. So I added two videos to our source list. So in the description box you can find the videos. One is a remastered version from Hand 90 from this MTV material, and the other one is a video from Always from this show, which was added like the remastered version from Hand 90 was added like yesterday, and this video from Always was added like 2 weeks ago. So those are very recent additions. And the video from Always is really special because it doesn't say so in the description box of that video, but it's really special because Always was brutally cut within the compilation that MTV created. So in the MTV material there are some brutal cuts from song to song, but nowhere is it as brutal as in Always. So it like guitar solos are cut out, and it's like I think they killed it. Not in a good way, but I think they accidentally killed Always by cutting pieces and making it like 4 minutes instead of the 7 minutes that it was supposed to be. So that's why I added this video from Always, and I added the little less than an hour long material remastered version from Hand 90, which is the MTV compilation of this show and the selection of, you know, what they broadcast. Okay, so in this it's 56 minutes, the compilation, and I'm just gonna kind of like go through what I saw. So first of all, I saw stripes on Jon Bon Jovi's face, and I have no idea if he also had stripes on his face on other shows, but this was the first time that I saw them. So he has yellow stripes and wears a yellow bandana. Just going to go by number. Oh yeah, then that's really cool. Before this recording started, so they mixed up their entire set list from, you know, like a 22 or 24 song long set list that was really aimed at the audience. They took it apart and rebuilt it in a way so that MTV would have 1 hour of hits, 1 hour of, you know, really powerful material. So what happened was they opened with I Believe off camera, then Runaway off camera. Both shows that both songs that were usually sung in the encore, and definitely not as openers. And then after Runaway, they did a countdown with the audience. So, you know, counting down to the moment that MTV would start filming and inviting the audience to, you know, be really loud for camera. And so that's what happened. Then they start with their MTV show, and that's Livin On A Prayer. Then You Give Love a Bad Name. That's usually how they open the show, but that was now song number 3 and 4 officially. So Livin On A Prayer, You Give Love a Bad Name, Keep the Faith, This Ain't the Love Song. Did I say anything? Does he do anything in that song. I'm just really, this is really, I have very messy notes. So, I think I made a note that this in this angel also he goes on his knees again, that it's really powerful again. Then Wanted Dead or Alive, which unfortunately, oh god, it doesn't have Richie's intro, so that's really a big loss, because on the other shows there was a song where or a moment where Richie was allowed to play guitar for like 4 or 5 minutes straight, and then it moves into Wanted Dead or Alive. For this MTV show, they don't do that, so there's no Richie Sambora playing guitar. I don't know if they cut it out. It's not on the set lists, so I assume that it has not been played. Then Wanted Dead or Alive, and that was really funny as well, because Wanted Dead or Alive is kind of like in the set list where usually Dry County is, and then for Dry County he says, are there any cowboys here in the audience, something like that. And but he uses that phrase, that reference to cowboys, both with Blaze of Glory. If that's in the middle, oh yeah, he does it with Blaze of Glory, not Dry County, he does it with Blaze of Glory. So when Blaze of Glory is in the set list, he does it then. And now with Wanted Dead or Alive in the body of the set list, he does it with Wanted Dead or Alive. So the cowboy reference is definitely, how do you say that? Multi-purpose. So the cowboy thing is in the 90s there were a lot of jokes, or Jon Bon Jovi made his own jokes about it, that writing cowboy songs was like his guilty pleasure. And if you go through his entire body of work, first of all, the 1990 album Blaze of Glory, which was for a cowboy movie, so of course that was all cowboy songs. But I've had the intention of going through all the work and picking out all the cowboy songs, because there's a lot of reference to cowboys. Like, for example, Last Man Standing, just the phrase is of course very cowboy-esque. So I just had this intention once of creating a cowboy themed playlist for Bon Jovi, and naturally Wanted Dead or Alive would definitely be in it. So are there any cowboys here? And instead of Blaze of Glory, they did Wanted Dead or Alive. Then Lay Your Hands on Me. Then I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. And that was also really, really great, because then Jon Bon Jovi says, I think you're as warmed up as it's gonna get. Oh, I really love it. And also what I really loved was something that I had noticed kind of like from the corner of my eyes. I was like, is Sleep When I'm Dead, is that the moment when they bring up the dolls? And it is. So because of the being up close to the band and the performance and it being shot professionally, I could finally see, yes, during Sleep When I'm Dead, that's when the big dolls come up. So that was really great. And then the next song was kind of like a cut one. So that's Can't Help Falling in Love, a cappella, sung by Jon Bon Jovi. We know he sung it because it's on the official set lists, but it's no longer available. It's not in the material that MTV has shared. After Can't Help Falling in Love comes Always. So that's kind of like the a cappella Can't Help Falling in Love moving into Always. That is how it is played. That is how it is performed. But obviously they just cut the intro and just go straight into Always. So that's Always, the song that was so brutally cut when I heard the MTV recordings that I was like, this is really weird, and I started investigating it, and that's when I found the 7-minute video for you. So that's in the source list in the description box. Okay, so you can listen to Always separately and then get it full length. And do I have anything other to say about Always? No, I don't. And then I Die For You, and that's like a really upbeat song, and I really like it very much. And Jovi plays electric guitar, and I Die For You, so it's really, really good. I have a heart here in the margin. I have a heart. Like, oh, I Die For You, it's great. And oh yeah, and in I Die For You, he says darling. So he doesn't says I die for you, I cry for you, I do everything. I die for you. But instead of baby, he says darling, and he's been doing that the entire tour. But every time he does it, like my heart makes a little jump. I'm like, it's because you don't expect him to sing darling, so you're like, oh, darling. So he sings darling in I Die For You. And then the final song that was broadcast by MTV, it was Blood on Blood, and it has a really beautiful acoustic introduction. So the acoustic introduction was actually so dedicated that I thought that it was going to be like an all acoustic version of Blood on Blood, and but it's not. The guitars come out. So oh yeah, and then I had one more thing about this show, and that is that Jon Bon Jovi's Sleeveless. So I think I'm not really sure, but I think this is the first Sleeveless Jon I see in this tour. I'm not, Jakarta into Indonesia must have had a Sleeveless Jon as well. I don't know. But it was the first time that I consciously watched high definition, professionally shot footage of Sleeveless Jon. And Sleeveless Jon is like, every time you think that you know what you're like, okay, we've seen it before, but you never get used to it. It's like every time you see Sleeveless Jon, you're like, oh God. So this is Sleeveless Jon, and I noticed Sleeveless Jon in 2019 because I was watching the video material of their European tour. So every time they had a show, the next day I would go into YouTube and watch it. And they started in Russia, then they did Scandinavia, then they did the Netherlands, then they did Ireland, England, and then they went to, I think, Austria. I don't know, but it was after England, as if I recall well, it was after England when I first saw a concert with Sleeveless Jon. So this was 2019. I was like, oh my God. So then I was like, oh, if you have a concert and it's warm and you get Sleeveless Jon, that's like, that's really special because, obviously it's great to look at, and and it's, dependent on the weather, so you never know. But this concert in June 1995, is Sleeveless Jon, so what more do you want? What more do you want? I'm moving on to Saturday. I have another, I think it's a really, one of the old school, very low definition bootleg shows. So that means, if I'm correctly, it will be over 2 hours. It will be the entire show, but it will be with very poor video imagery and probably also very poor audio. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but it's Berlin. So we're moving to Berlin, and they have, if I recall, 2 shows in Berlin, but only one has footage, so it can only cover one. It's the one on Saturday. Yeah, so that was our 2-day adventure called Rock im Park yesterday and Rock am Ring today. And yeah, I just really loved having this show, this MTV footage of this show, and yeah, I really loved it. Like I said, it was a sight for sore eyes. So yeah, I'm gonna see you Saturday in Berlin. See you then. Bye.